is what we call
hater shit.
There is no better term.
You know me. If you know me, you know me. If you know, you know. You know, so.
Okay, for my team, I was going to do a live the day of the Air and Water show, but there was just too much going on that day. I want to talk about developing a software app-based platform.
Oh my gosh, enough with the fucking software. I'm so tired of hearing universal income, software, tech guys, everything. Just leave it alone.
For the homeless, where all of the beds are Rolodexed in a way that's similar to Airbnb.
Rolodex beds.
I think that offering reservation-style beds will give people a much better chance at success than what we're currently doing. So the first step, obviously, and I've discussed this a lot in a lot of my lives and other broadcasts, the first step of this is obviously intake, and that should occur at any area emergency room. As soon as a person finds themselves in a position of homelessness for whatever reason, they lost their job, they have experienced domestic violence, they have an addiction problem, whatever it is, they go to the ER and...
You drinking coffee again? Y'all go to Starbucks so much, and it's not just for water. I ain't stupid. Water and Wi-Fi.
They have an assessment. The assessments should be cataloged.
Why does it look like she's riding a horse? Sorry. I don't know why you look like that. Okay. Definitely not water. But let's get.
And available for use in the Rolodexing system that's going to operate similar to Airbnb.
What is she doing?
So based on the results of that, and no one assessment.
Is there something wrong with my phone, or is there something wrong with her phone? What the fuck is she doing? It looks like she's not walking. It looks like she's riding.
Is like universal or lifelong. An assessment should be updated.
We're slowly making it out. Okay.
As to avoid trapping a person into an identity that is no longer their identity. For instance, if a person was, allegedly a drug user in 2022, but they haven't touched anything, since that time, they need to be able to update that Rolodex in a way that is, reliable, honest, and kind of, current. And then after they have that intake, the people are divided by their needs. So if someone needs intervention for substance abuse or housing that is acceptable for someone who's using drugs, then that's taken into consideration. If someone needs assisted living, if they're elderly, if they're disabled. Again, I compare it to Airbnb because I feel like we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We separate these beds based on what they can offer.
Why does she usually walk weird until she hits the crosswalk?
These categories have to be logged. It's so simple. I can't believe that this hasn't been done yet. And I've said this a lot. It almost feels like they're doing it on purpose. Like they have the answers that they need to resolve these issues, but they don't want to, for whatever reason, allow them to be resolved. Now, if there's a person like myself, for instance, who does not require any sort of intervention of any sorts, I'm completely independent. I have education. I have 4 children who I've raised their entire lives. Clearly, I can take care of myself.
Is she jogging
For
now?
someone like that, it's literally like an Airbnb system that offers beds, bedrooms.
Is she pushing the cart? I'm sorry, but why is she walking like this?
And access to living situations. From there, opportunity will come, you know, and once a person has the stability of making a reservation, say they're week-long reservations, and then the host has the option after a discussion to say, you know, yeah, we can extend for this amount of time and see what happens or whatever. These people need stability, but they also need the freedom to find a job wherever they can.
Yeah, Heather.
Take care of their life responsibilities that they already have. You know, and homelessness creates so many more problems. Like, it's
it's making me. I can't keep staring at it. It looks like she's like thrusting. I don't want to look at this. For one, it's bothering me. For two, that's all I could think about. Like, it looks like she's...
It's ridiculous. The level of disrespect at some of these facilities that claim to be homeless shelters, it's no wonder these people never do better. You know, they're being treated like dirt a lot of times. They're being, you know, just...
Now, are you walking fine now? I know I'm not the only one who's been going crazy about this on this live.
Dismissed and treated like they don't matter. And that's just...
So she's not pushing anything. I didn't think she was, because she has Starbucks in one hand and her fucking phone in the other.
That's not the case. You know, everyone, going to talk about entitlement. I mean, let's talk about it.
Oh, yeah, because you're an entitled little bitch. Let's talk about it.
Everyone has a sense of entitlement, and until you have, like, literally all of your rights taken from you...
What?
You don't even discuss entitlement as a bad thing. I mean, as a good thing.
Either you don't even know, no one knows what you're saying, you don't even know what you're saying. So I don't even know why you talk anymore. Stop speaking on shit you don't know nothing about.
Entitlement is a good thing. Entitlement reminds us...
No, it's not. Entitled is not a good thing. No. You should be blessed to have something. You should be thankful to have something. You shouldn't be entitled to it.
That we're not trash. And that we are deserving. You know?
We'll live that way.
That's what we have the United States Constitution for, and that's what we have.
Girl, what the fuck would you do if we didn't have the damn Constitution? What would you do if there was no assistance out there? What would you do if you didn't live in America? Now, at some point, you've got to rely on yourself. What the fuck do you have in your boobs? Why is your boob so lumpy? And it doesn't look like the breast pump. Why does it look like that? What the fudge is that?
All of these laws and regulations and things of that nature because we want to be protected and we all want that's entitlement.
It almost looks like she has 3 boobs right there. I don't know what she has in her shirt, but it's not making her look very good right now.
As some refer to it, a basic, acceptable style and quality of life. You know, no one deserves to be sleeping on the street. If someone is like even the grodiest, shittiest person, they don't even deserve to be sleeping on the street. And that's not even just for their own comfort, but also for the comfort of everyone around them.
Change your glasses. Oh my gosh, they look so much like goggles.
I don't know, what is this, Xavier? Moody?
Moody church.
Some sort of concert at Moody Bible.
Sort of third eye blind knockoff. Yeah.
Did he just say it was a knockoff of Third Eye Blind? What the fuck did he just say? I can't stand him. I just, can someone please take those glasses? I was wondering, like, I wonder if Xavier's, like, at a little counseling or meeting or some kind of session, because I haven't heard him, seen him. Like, she really tries to just X him out. No pun intended.
I don't know what What is this, Xavier? Moody?
Moody Church.
Some sort of concert at Moody Bible.
Sort of Third Eye Blind knockoff. Yeah.
Did he just say Third Eye Blind knockoff? If they're singing gospel music, just stop. I can't stand y'all two. I really can't.
Moody Church.
Some sort of concert at Moody Bible.
Sort of Third Eye Blind knockoff. Yeah.
Anyways.
Creed.
It seems so simple, and it's incredibly frustrating to me. Xavier and I have been in this situation for about, how long has it been that we've been there? 5 weeks or 4 weeks? Prior to that, we were 4.5 months at a place that said that that was our last stop. That we would be there for 6 months while our needs were assessed, and then we would be matched with an apartment or townhome so that our child could come home.
I hate it whenever she says, so our child can come home, so I could get my baby, and we could bring the baby home. You have no home.
I've always had my own home. I've been in my own apartment since I was 17 years old.
No.
Or house.
No.
Like, this is 37 years old, not what I want to be doing.
Not yours.
My older daughter
Nachos.
went into high school the year I became homeless. And when I say homeless, it's been like up and down. I should say housing instability. Because
and that is so sad. I mean, I don't care. I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter, honestly. It does not matter what age they are, what freaking school they're going to, what grade they're entering. It does not matter. You should be... I'm really not trying to make you feel bad, but you should look deep down in your soul and figure out why the hell you haven't been there for those kids. Because they have needed... Kids need moms and dads. But at the same time, they need a safe, supportive, sound mom and dad. It aggravates me so much. Like, obviously, you're either fine without the kids and it's all a show, which I believe it is, or you're just that fucking crazy head and you need to get on medication and shut up and just get on the medicine. Either way, you're being a piece of shit.
I had Airbnbs, I had hotels, I was making good money. I was receiving checks for a reality show that I was doing, and I was also driving DoorDash. So I was, paying like $40,000 annual in housing cost to not even have any money left over to save or whatever. Like, that was like the cheapest Airbnbs that money could buy that I was getting. I was not staying in like luxury. I wasn't renting the entire property. Let's put it that way. I was renting a room, a bed. So life just should not be that way. 2020, when my daughter went into her freshman year, after living with me her entire life, with her brother and sister, and now I have a 6-month-old, she watched her mother become homeless. And she knows that I'm dynamic. My children know me. My mom, my family, my friends, they know me. They know that I can do all things, that I have intelligence and education and willingness, and that I'm, physically fit and in shape, and literally that there's nothing that I can't do, just like so many of the rest of us. So how do I explain to my children that I'm homeless, and how do I make that make sense now that we're 4 years into this situation?
Well, you know what, Heather? Just like you said the other day, that's why you documented everything on here, right? Which is very sad because your kids shouldn't have to see it, but I know they've already seen most of it. That is horrible. And
there still has been no resolution.
Because of you.
So Xavier and I were in a shelter called Tremont Shelter on 100 East Chestnut. And that is an old boutique hotel that they turned into a homeless shelter. And it's supposed to be 6 months in that space. They call it a permanent shelter. And then from the permanent shelter, 6-month shelter, you go to your home. You are matched with housing, an apartment or a townhome, depending on your family size and need. So we made it 4.5 months, and all of a sudden they said that the program ran out of funding. And they made us just leave with no plan, nowhere to go. We spent another 2 weeks on the literal sidewalk in front of Rag and Bone, New York. and Xavier got punched in the head 3 times. They stole 2 bicycles from him. They stole his cell phone.
Where you best
The first time Xavier and I were homeless, when we were staying in the tent by Beaumont Harbor, a man beat me up while I was pregnant, kicked me in the head,
stop talking about the past. Like, come on, man. Like, forgive and forget. Like, you should have already learned that in church. Like, even if people don't say, hey, can you forgive me for this? You just go ahead and forgive everyone because it's for you, it's not for them. And start moving forward. Why don't you tell us what you're doing now to get better? How about that? Let's not talk about the past no more.
To me about 10 feet down the street, unprovoked. I was sleeping. It was 3 o'clock in the morning and we had a padlock on the tent.
Fucking padlock.
These situations should not be possible in 2023, 2024, and that's when I went through it.
Hello?
We have a way to Rolodex properties for rent. And if you look up Airbnb statistics, there's something around 70% of their total properties that will be empty or vacant on any given day. How do you explain that? How do we walk over bodies in the literal street on the sidewalk?
Stop saying literal.
Like it's nothing. We're so used to it. We're so accustomed to it.
Well, so are with your Starbucks coffee in your fucking hand. Some people like you are just kind of used to it. So, I mean, what are we going to do about it? I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, it bothers me seeing people, but I also don't know what fucking led them there. Everyone has a different path, and you need to start fucking making your way out, child.
How do we walk over bodies in the literal street on the sidewalk like it's nothing? We're so used to it. We're so accustomed to it. But we have 70% vacancy in Airbnb, and that's not including regular rentals. When 2020 came and a lot of people, the housing market in the downtown area, it took a plummet. It took a hit. And a lot of people, based on the COVID and pandemic and the fear-mongering associated with that, a lot of people, fled to the suburbs and started purchasing homes. If they were going to be locked down, they wanted to be locked down in situations where they had space to breathe for their family to go outside and play, etc., and so forth. So the value.
I don't think that's what people's thought process was. I don't think they really had much time to be like, oh shit, it's COVID, time to buy a bigger house and a bigger yard. Like, it did not happen like that.
The value here in the downtown area where you're literally apartment on apartment on apartment right next to your neighbor, it kind of took a little bit of a hit. Not only that, but they were doing BLM riots, and there was a whole bunch of unsafe kind of disrupting going on in this area. I witnessed with my own eyes cop cars overturned and on fire. I witnessed with my own eyes stores being completely boarded up after, they were rushed by groups of people for quality items, high ticket items, purses, bags, duffels, etc. And then they resold all of those products, on the black market. So to me, it's like a no-brainer here. We really don't need to reinvent the wheel. We already have software that is developed to Rolodex and CRM our properties, their owners, their values. Why are we not matching them to people? It's so simple. I don't understand why this needs to exist. And because it's so simple, and I'm definitely not a genius by any means, but because this is so simple and based on what's gone on with my situation over the last 4 years and how it's related to what I've, been forced to see taking place with homelessness and other oppression, it makes me feel like there's some sort of hidden reason that people are still homeless. Someone is winning by leaving people in this state of homelessness.
Who would win? Who wins that? Nobody wins that. Nobody.
Someone needs these people to remain homeless. Why would that be? I don't understand that. If no one is benefiting from the homeless population, then why wouldn't we solve this?
Because the people who are homeless, most of them are not trying to fucking actually solve it. They're content. They're fine. They're good where they're at. It's just like some people who are just in and out of jail. Sometimes it's easier if they're just like, screw it, I need to go back to jail. Like, it becomes their fucking habitat. And you were like bitching and complaining and moaning. My gosh, I bet you not one homeless person can fucking stand you. They're probably like, please don't fucking speak for us. Why don't you go help them then, Heather? If this ain't about you, it's about the homeless people, right? Not about you. Because you are getting assistance. You are staying in a shelter right now. And you've had many months to get your shit together.
If not for the quality of life of the people who are experiencing it, for the quality of life for the rest of us, you know? I don't want to walk over like some dirty man who's urinated on himself 2 times in the morning. You know what I mean? And I've had to do that multiple times. In the downtown Chicago area, 60611, which is like one of the most prestigious
worldwide,
you know, upscale neighborhoods that we have here in Chicago. Gold Coast. You know what I mean? So it's very curious to me. I feel like we absolutely need to invest more time and money into developing these softwares. Hotels should definitely be on the hook for a certain percentage of their rooms. And it's like I said the last time, energy is contagious. If you think of a cup of crystal clear water as like good vibes, and let's just use the color purple. Okay, you have purple food coloring, and make the purple food coloring the bad vibes. All it takes is 1 drop of that, and all your good vibe water has changed to purple. And it might be a light shade of purple, so maybe the vibes...
Oh my gosh, I'm lost. It's the blue pen, black pen thing, and not the funny Jim Carrey one. Y'all remember the apartment? It's blue pen, it's a blue pen. No, it's a black pen. No, it's a blue pen. It's a blue pen.
You know, are not that bad at that time, but the more drops you put into that water, the darker it becomes, the worse the vibe, the worse the energy. We have to dilute that. We have to take the people who are suffering and put them into situations of uplifting, put them into situations of support, put them into safe living conditions, and help them. You know, it helps us. If you can't think of it from a selfless perspective, you can go ahead and look at it from a selfish perspective. If you own property, do you want some nasty, dirty homeless person going to sleep outside of it, and then you come bring someone for a showing the next day? How likely do you...
I'm sorry. Forgive me. But why are you talking about this poor man whenever you and Xavier do the same crap? But worse, because y'all have a whole bunch of baggage with y'all, and y'all don't leave.
I think that they are to make the purchase. You know, just from whatever perspective you need to look at it, bend it that way, you know? Find a perspective that will make it worthwhile to invest your time and resources into resolving these issues, because they're affecting people like myself, and there's a ripple effect. I have 4 children. I have worked tirelessly my entire life. Since I was 14 years old, I've had a job. I've been an entrepreneur. I have 10 years experience in healthcare. There's no reason at all in heaven or hell why my 4 children should be suffering as a result of this. None. There's no reason.
Shut up.
So if I could entice you, you know,
no, thank you,
to get your best people on the job, not even your best, get your worst people on the job. Like, it's truly not that difficult. Airbnb has already created the model for us. Get a listing of beds that are acceptable for the homeless. Rolodex.
So if I fucking hear Rolodex one more freaking time, my gosh, how do you think this is being paid for? You want to talk about owners, how owners feel? Does owners want homeless people in front of their building? Do you think fucking owners want homeless people inside of their building, inside of the fucking homes, in the rooms? Homeless people who's obviously not going to take care of the place? Make that make sense. How is that going to work out? It's not. It won't. It's not going to happen, Heather. Get over it.
Them in a way you would Airbnb. If someone is ill or sick or addicted, do not include them in having access to those beds. Make a different program for them.
Wait, if they're sick, I'm so confused. Oh, is this just for... This is just for people who don't want to work. Okay. Sorry, my bad.
I'm so upset to hear one of my roommates in this dorm style where I'm living now. She said to me,
Where I'm living now.
she was addicted, and I'm not going to share her name. She's a nice lady. She's very kind to me. I don't, need to know the details of her situation. This is what I do know. She shared with me during her pregnancy with her son, she was using heroin.
Oh, no.
And that when her son was born, her and her son were...
Oh, I wonder if Heather told her that she was using fentanyl. Well, I'm sorry. Laced weed.
accepted for treatment at a place called Haymarket. So her newborn son was never separated from her. Her and her child were taken into this facility and they were helped. I was never on drugs, ever.
Yes, she was. And you obviously didn't tell the full story about that lady.
Was never addicted. And I was calling for help every week of my pregnancy. I wasn't out hiding.
And you denied it whenever they offered.
I was adamantly calling and referring my issues to law enforcement, to the city's 311 department, asking them for assistance. I was accused of negligence at birth when my son was born for being homeless.
Yep.
That is unacceptable. That is a violation of human rights. How is it possible that we can support someone with a serious drug addiction and their child, but someone like myself who does not...
Now you're talking about your friend who was so very kind to you. Do you see? Like, nobody can trust you.
Have an addiction there are no options for. I've been separated from my child. That is unacceptable. From my children.
Children?
Like I said before, it is unacceptable from my children.
Children? I mean, isn't it ironic, though? All 4 of your children you got separated from. Who would have thunk? I wonder why.
Like I said before, the way that these people handle me and treat me, there are ripple effects and there are people watching. And that's not a warning or a threat. I've tried to say it a million times. They take over my phone, and not just my phone. It has nothing to do with my phone. They take over my storyline. Anytime you see them bringing in huge waves, expect problems. They don't want resolution just for me. They want resolution in general. And the more that it's ignored, the worse it's going to be. There are a whole bunch of people who are being subjected to being food, systemic food. What do I mean by that? Meaning they're creating, planting, or curating symptoms in otherwise well individuals, intelligent, well-spoken, kind, so that they can be of use to some sort of service that we have, whether it's mental health, whether it's physical health.
I'm sorry, but I am what? Are you messed up, or am I not? I don't know what is going on here. What are you talking about?
Whatever it is. That way they can continue to generate revenue. It is a business, and it is disgusting. And I've apart from the homeless issue, I've discussed a number of times in a million different ways. Why wouldn't we create the same opportunities for reimbursement with services that are enjoyable? Spa services, preventative services. How about dentists start billing insurance for teeth cleaning and whitening in prevention? Did you guys know that the state plans do not cover cleanings at the dentist? They do not cover cleanings. They only cover interventional medicine, meaning if you have, a cavity, they'll fill it, but they will not clean your teeth. This is backward. This is obscene. Why are we not covering things like whitening and regular cleanings?
Whitening? That's the first... Whitening? That's the least of our worries right now. I mean, are you just now realizing this? That, unfortunately, most of us had to go most of our lives with this shit. Believe me, but unfortunately, it's cosmetic, as they say. because they want to get over on people's money. How are you 37 years old and you don't know this? 37, right? Or are you 38? You're 30. You're 30 something.
Have, a cavity, they'll fill it, but they will not clean your teeth. This is backward. This is obscene. Why are we not covering things like whitening and regular cleanings? Why are we not covering things like manicures and pedicures in people who, cannot manicure and pedicure their own feet and hands? Why are we not covering things like massage for people who are dealing with tremendous amounts of stress? The number one cause of heart disease, as they say, is stress, right? So does it not seem incredibly simple that if we eliminate or decrease stress substantially, that heart disease will also go down? What's cheaper, health insurance companies? A massage or an angioplasty? Let's use our heads here. This is not difficult to understand.
Heather, you do know that they want the most money, correct?
The future is so in our hands. Literally, look down. What do you have in your hand? Your phone? Your laptop? Your tablet? This is the future of communication, the future of innovative ideas, the future of practical solutions. So, I'm just asking you guys, please. I'm Heather Gillespie, and my children and my family and I are asking, please invest a little bit of time and energy into these solutions, because you're hurting us by not. By ignoring, these problems, we're hurting in a very real way. You guys have a great day. The law of averages, they are taking the people who have been the most oppressed, who have the most struggle, bad vibes, whatever is going on with their lives, it's a struggle. And they're putting them all in one tiny little basement together. Why would they do that? Why would they not sprinkle them throughout, buildings that are flourishing with people on vacation who are feeling, happy, and make that energy, be communicated and be contagious to each other. Okay, you're worried about theft. Well, if you provide what people need, if you make a way for them so that they could get it on their own, they don't need to steal it from anyone else. This seems so elementary and understanding to me. I'm so tired of talking about this.
I'm tired of hearing about it.
But you guys have got to be doing this on purpose now. Or you've just got to be an idiot, a straight moron, to not be able to see and forecast and predict what they're going to do next. I'm not an investigator. I am a civilian mother of 4, and they are now, however, they got my phone number again, calling me *67 over and over and over and over and over. I have to do a Zoom call on my phone. I've already gone to iPhone settings and blocked anonymous phone calls from coming through, but they're still coming through. Here's my phone call log from this morning. Now, this has been a non-issue for a month and a half now, but here it is again. So whatever it is that you guys are doing to trigger this repeatedly, can you please understand that it has nothing to do with me? Please.
Oh, no,
I have been emailing you this evidence in a repetitive fashion for 5 years. 5 years. Please. And it's like I said the last time, the one Heather GEE account, ONE Heather GEE, where I went daily live doing For the Records, as I called them, FTRs. Someone deleted that entire account.
Ooh.
Contact Instagram, get the fucking account. Why are you making me go through it again? God, please forgive me for cursing in your house. This is Contact Instagram, get the fucking account. Why are you making me go through it again? God, please forgive me for cursing in your house. This is ridiculous.
I can't.
No one should ever, ever, ever in a million years have to live their life this way. This is obscene. Protect me, protect my children, put us together and help us. Human rights, civil rights, constitutional rights.
Thank you, Sarah Luna, for your support. If you would like to sponsor or support my mission, no thank you. Oh, is him trying water? Oh, he had a banana again. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
So yesterday we were at Whole Foods. I was picking up something that I had ordered from Amazon, and one of the guys was like to one of the girls, "It's so simple. Just don't tell on your friends and tell your friends not to tell on you." They have no idea, none whatsoever. What I want you guys to understand is that whether you're guilty or innocent in life, when you become a target, you will be manipulated in ways that you cannot even predict. And on the back end of that manipulation, identifying it becomes even more burdensome and difficult because you can feel what has taken place, but trying to articulate it and put it into words is a whole separate feat of itself. You will anticipate need to articulate what is happening, but to try to do so, even at the time, is nearly impossible. Now here's a perfect example.
Oh, there's Xavier. See, they don't stay too close to each other.
Now here's a perfect example. So, some of the girls that used to date someone that I was with for 5 years.
Oh my gosh, please don't.
They had really tremendous drug addiction problems. Real bad.
All of y'all do.
And I was always in the gym. That was my jam. My addiction was to fitness and lifting weights. Every time I was sad, I would lift weights. Every time I was happy, I would lift weights. That was what I did. I didn't really use drugs at all. So these people are in an effort to get me to feel and alter my perception. They are manipulating the posts, the brand partnerships, corporate espionage, as some will refer to it. They're putting different brands onto different people in an attempt to control the perception and cause turmoil and quarreling. Jordan Locke is a perfect example. She's never been in the gym. She's never been a weightlifter. She's been a pawn for a long time. When I met her, I was helping her get safe physically from a very unsafe situation. She is one example of like 10 women that have been being puppeteered by this person. I'm included. Marissa Buckle is another one. I named him yesterday. Samantha Curran, Star, Guidano or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Who else? Some girl named Jessica. She's Just Be Envious on Instagram. It's all the same story with all these girls. The same victimization, the same patterns. It's just one by one by one. And then what they do is they put all the girls against the guy, and then they start separating and dividing and conquering girls against girls. Like he did something better for one than he did the other. So they work on emotion. They definitely manipulate and exploit emotion, human emotion, and also need. Right? I'm not doing well right now from my own standards. I'm living in a shelter in Lincoln Park. I've been applying to more than 1,000 jobs, every few months. I would say close to 100 jobs a month on average for 5 years. I have more than a bachelor's degree of education, fitness training, 4 children that I've always taken care of. They've always lived.
Stop saying that they lived with you for their whole life and that you taken care of them their whole life. Stop saying that.
With me from the time I was 17, I had my own apartment all the way until he, became a part of my life physically in 2020 when I lost everything. But what they're choosing to circulate and give reach to are all of my triumphs or things that make me look like I'm successful. Like a reel with my little Stanley Cup, that reel will get like 14,000, views.
She just said her Stanley Cup. Aw, I knew. Girl, I'm sorry. I knew you was upset. I had a feeling you wanted a Stanley Cup. I didn't mean to call you out on saying that it was a hydro flask. I'm sure a hydro flask is just as good as a Stanley Cup. I don't think I own either or. So there, it makes you feel any better.
But me
See, for me,
Look, Instagram, they can't stand her ass. They always write on it. Cut her off.
like a reel with my little Stanley cup, that reel will get like 14,000, views. But me
See, for me, this always shocks me because I come from a group that doesn't deal with this anymore. They're so technologically evolved that they have literally found numerous ways to evade or escape any sort of systemic interaction. So it's always surprising and troublesome for me when I get pulled back in. It's not fair. It's exhausting. It's actually like probably killing me slowly. And as it does all of these other people, who are trapped systemically. I keep on waiting for all of the IT people who I know to get back involved and to continue working on developing
You don't know no IT people. Be quiet.
solutions. But from what I see right now, it doesn't look like they're enacting on, any of those solutions right now. From